Hey folks, it is your friend in flowers, Lisa Mason Ziegler, and I'm super happy to drop in here on this Halloween night. I hope everybody's got a bag full of candy and happy children and are ready to sign off from that for now, right? So tonight I am dropping in here. I promised that I would come on and I wanted to talk about that today is the final day to claim a special bonus when people sign up or enroll in flower farming school. And that is boot camp. Boot camp with me, which is like 7 live group coaching sessions that is just going to help you do a deep dive into the course, friends. And we've been talking about the course, for the past week, and I've taught some master classes, and but I just felt like I hadn't really given the boot camp the attention that it needed to let people understand what this actually means. And so all students, past and present, so all of my past students will be invited to boot camp, as well as everyone that is signed up by tonight, October 31st at 12 midnight Eastern time. And this is what boot camp is going to be about. It is 7 live group coaching sessions, as well as there's going to be kind of a mini intensive training for each one. And it's going to really give you a clear path for using the lessons in the course to grow your flower farm, to grow it, to start it. It addresses all the stages of flower farming, of getting started and getting customers and learning where to sell. And we are going to be addressing one class in each one of the boot camp sessions. And there'll be also lots of great tips on navigating the videos and the PDFs and all the resources that are in there. Friends, this is a loaded course. And the best gift that I can give to you is to show you how to search. It is keyword searchable. And so these boot camp sessions are going to be really, my hope is that the boot camp sessions, we're going to bring you in and get you in flower farming school and get you excited and show you how to use it and point you in the right direction. Because friends, I'm telling you, it will equip you to come out on the other side of winter as a confident and equipped flower farmer, right? All right. So in addition to many intensive training in each boot camp and all this direction, and I'm going to be doing a live Q&A at each session. That means your questions will be answered. And so the first boot camp session is November 14th. So that gives you a couple of weeks to actually catch up and to actually watch the first class in the course. And I just want to speak to this right now. I went back and reviewed again, and on average, there's 6 classes in flower farming school, and each class is broken up into a bunch of little sessions with subtitles, and it tells you what they are. Well, on average, there's about 3 hours of sessions in each one of the 3 classes, right? And friends, if you have got to carve out 3 hours out of your schedule and just actually do it. And when you do that with this boot camp, that means you're going to show up. You can submit questions before the boot camp session if for some reason you can't be there, and it is recorded so that you will have access to it afterwards. So you can show up to boot camp feeling a little confident and having your questions, right? And so there's going to be a live Q&A at each one. And I highly, I used to, and I still do, it's a self-paced course. You can go kind of do it to your own schedule or timeline. But I highly recommend, if you're serious about starting a business, you need to jump in. You need to get in there and start watching the sessions. Put aside all the bonus stuff because that's longer. Those are things you can listen to later and search them and listen to the things that you need for that point in time. And so the first boot camp is November 14th. And then the next 5 are kind of scattered out over November and December and in January. And then the grand finale boot camp session, live coaching section is January 23rd. That's like, I'm calling that the grand finale, right? And I am, if you've been following me more than a minute, you know that I'm a pretty intense teacher. And I absolutely love teaching live. I love the interaction. I love just teaching others how to do this, right? So tonight ends the special offer. That's why I'm on here at 8:30, almost at night, is to say that tonight's the last night. So let me just tell you a little bit about Flower Farming School. So Flower Farming School is $695, and that is a lot of money, but friends, that is a BB in the Astrodome compared to what you're going to gain and make as a flower farmer when you apply even a small percentage of what you learn in this course. And it covers everything from how to get your business started. Class 1, we eat the ugly frog first, y'all. We tackle those things that people just don't want to do. Getting legal, getting professional, finding out about insurance, seeing what your city requires from you, making time in your life. You know, friends, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, right? And the difference between me and you and maybe Albert Einstein or somebody like that did a lot with their life is the way that we use our time. And time management is huge. If you can't manage your time, you may not be able to manage a business. I'm serious, right? So class 1 is where we kind of sift through all this stuff and make time in your life to actually start a business. And then, you know, to get this stuff out of the way, you don't realize it, especially if you've already started your business and you haven't attended to some of these things. And I talk to those people all the time. They're little boulders sitting right here on your shoulders. You might not realize it, but the day that somebody shows up and says, you know that you're not zoned for this, or do you have sales tax certificate? Do you have liability insurance? You know, we're going to tackle all that mess in class 1. Class 2 is how to build a working garden. Friends, this is about building beds, whether you build them with a wheelbarrow and a shovel, which I show you how to do, or with a walk behind tiller, and I show you, or with the tractor and a bed maker. That's the progression that I took over 20 years, and I show you how you can do that too. We talk about weed prevention. We talk about building your soil, cover cropping. All of that is in class 2. Class 3 is selling what you grow, finding customers, how to be a professional, how to go in there and, you fake it till you make it, but not really. You're not going to have to fake it once you take the course. You are going to be in control of that situation. So we tell you about the different sales outlets that are out there. Class 4 is what should you grow? This is about getting in with low investment, high return. That means, y'all, inexpensive to get in and making the most money getting out. And I never left that model. I never went past really growing primarily annuals because of the big margins that they have. But that's what you need to do when you're learning, when you're finding customers, when you're flubbing stuff up, right? And so that's class 4. Class 5 is starting it all from seeds. That is from direct seeding to soil blocking, both the hand tools and the commercial Swift blocker, direct seeding outside. Do you buy plugs or should you start it from seed? We talk about all that and give you the resources and the suppliers. And then in class 6 is harvesting and conditioning. Friends, I will tell you that our industry is really suffering right now because we have so many folks that have joined the industry that really have not learned what the correct stage to harvest is for all the different flowers you grow. And yes, they're all different and you have to know them all. And then the conditioning steps, that's class 6. And there are bonus videos, there are PDFs, there is so many resources in this course that you're not going to go away with a question unanswered, plus, friends. So boot camp, which is these 7 live sessions at the bonus that is going to go away tonight, that's immediate for now. But we have a private student community that you have access to for life, and that's how you get to me for life. Not only is there an amazing supportive community in there. We have a couple of thousand students in there that are helping each other, people that are ahead of you, and there might be some that are behind you, and how people come together and help, whether it's picking you up off the ground from a bad situation or being your cheerleader. But that's where you can ask questions a year from now, a year after that, and even beyond. And you tag me. We actually have a team member that swims in our student private groups, looking for people asking questions that maybe didn't tag us properly, that kind of thing. We are all about spilling all the beans, y'all. We hold nothing back. And we would just love to have you join Flower Farming School. And if you think you're going to, now's the time to strike, because you want to get in on boot camp. I am so totally stoked. I can't stop taking notes about what I want to train on. Each boot camp session is connected to one of the class subject matters. And I keep changing for different ones what I want to teach about, because I want to get you so excited that you go in there and just want to dive in. I mean, it's like once you get equipped. So if you have any questions, you can post them in the comments here, and I'll be happy to try to answer those. But I have some questions that have already been asked and submitted, and I thought that I would go through a couple of those. And then I want to actually show you a short video of some student testimonials that it just helps you to get an idea of what this is all about. So somebody wrote in and asked, how long will it take me to get through the course? Now, as I mentioned earlier, there's 6 classes. Each class is broken up into a bunch of individual sessions. And I didn't say this, friends, you have lifetime unlimited access to this entire course, and that includes the community, okay? And if you can designate 3 hours a week to just jump in and get this done, and to do that for 6 weeks, that will power you up, that you're going to listen to all the frequently asked questions. You can listen to them as podcasts in our phone app, and it'll just power you up. The questions that have been asked in there, not only can you keyword search them, but you can just listen to it like a podcast, whether you're driving down the road or planting or whatever it is that you're doing. So 3 hours a week for 6 weeks to plow through the actual sessions. And I think that's quite reasonable, right? Then the other one I had, there's a lot of questions here, but I'm just going to hit the ones that I absolutely hear the most frequently. Somebody asked, what else am I going to have to buy to be successful if I buy your course? What expensive equipment am I going to have? And friends, I'm here to tell you, you need no tractor, no greenhouse, no cooler, and you do not have to have acreage. And why do I know that? Because I had none of those things. When I started flower farming in 1998, I was barely a gardener, much less a farmer. Our whole property was a little bit more than an acre, and my home and outbuildings were on that. And that's what I farmed on for the first 10 years and was highly successful. And I still don't have any greenhouses. I didn't get a cooler until probably year 7 or 8 or something like that. And then I didn't get a tractor until like year 10 or 11 or 12 or something. And so you do not have to invest in a lot of expensive equipment at first. You can as you build your business. Because let me tell you something. I believe that cash is king, and that you should have the money to pay for everything that you buy for. If you think going into, you don't know yet if you're not in business yet. There's enough pressure in trying to learn how to start a business, not to mention learning how to farm, grow something that you can actually sell and ask people to give you money for. But the pressure of owing money from the beginning, the get-go, is just unnecessary. I tell people, you need to have $2,000. If you don't have $2,000 to get your flower farm up and running, then you need to get a side hustle. You need to get a Christmas job or something to get that money. And that is the way to start for success. So you do not have to have all of that stuff. And then the other thing is you know, can you really make a go of this with a small space? Small space is relative to people. I know people that think 5 acres is a small space. I think of as a small space as a, you know, 100 square foot garden in somebody's backyard. You know, that's a 10 by 10. And it all depends on what your target and goal is. We have a lot of people, we have a lot of empty nesters that become flower farmers, people that have retired from professional jobs and want to start doing this, but they don't want it to take their life over. Starting small, I actually write that in my book, the Cut Flower Handbook, when I'm talking about just a cutting garden, not flower farming, to say the difference between success and failure, which I've seen over 7 years teaching people, is those people that start small and go slow are the ones that are still around in 5 and 10 years. And if you want to just have a small flower farming side hustle, something, I mean, whether it's to line your IRA or to make a mortgage payment once a year to pay down your principal, you can do that, but you have to control yourself and what you're planting. People overplant constantly, y'all, and that makes things get out of control. So a small space can definitely work because you can get a lot more out of a small space than you ever imagined when you follow the system and plant it as a cutting garden, and set it up like I recommend, and then plant those annuals that are just repeat bloomers. So you get a lot from a small space. And so I said something about this, but I'm going to say it again because it's actually twice on this paper, is will I be able to ask questions if I get stuck? That's where our Facebook community, it's a private community, is priceless, y'all. I mean, from people having questions stuck about whether it's a customer question or a growing question, or you just suffered some kind of catastrophic. I mean, the disasters that just happened in North Carolina, we have a lot of people that were down there. And we actually, and I'll try to say this without bawling, y'all, we had students that were really hard hit. And we had other students in other states that went and helped them. I mean, it's just amazing when you're all focusing on the same ball of starting a real professional business and going for it, no matter how little or how big you are. We have people in our group that are doing 5 or 10 bouquet subscriptions a week. Then we have people like Daniel of Petal Pickers, who has got this huge flower farm and he ships flowers all over the country. Then we have Jonalyn down in Florida that is just booming. We have so many students in so many different walks of life, and that's where you learn the most from them, right? And I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to play this video. And friends, here's the deal. We give you a 7-day, no risk money back guarantee. That means if you get in the course and you think, you know what, this is just not what I thought, or this just isn't for me. If you email the office within 7 days of purchase, we give you your money back. We don't question you about it because we know you're going to love the class. So I want to just show you this little video. It's like a minute and a half or something. I'm going to add it, and then I have to go back over here to hit the play button.
If you're an aspiring flower farmer or you're a home gardener that really wants to up your game, I cannot recommend this course enough.
The Lysianthus right here, I ended up buying those because of Lisa as plugs. Everything else, though, honestly, we're all started from seed through soil blocking. She goes through step by step how to go ahead and do that. She's an incredible source of information.
What I found most helpful was really just getting all the information that I needed to feel confident to get started.
I love Lisa's online flower farming school because all the information is easy to follow and it's relevant. I especially love all of the follow-up assistance and getting to watch the videos again whenever I want.
Let me tell you what I really loved about her course. She really dove into the specifics of growing these flowers, you know, how to prepare the soil, how to start the seeds, what exactly she grew, and she also taught us how to sell them as well.
It was absolutely life-changing. So I highly recommend the course if you're thinking at all about taking your gardening to the next level, whether it be to open up a business as we did, or if you're just really interested in learning how to do things easier.
It has been invaluable to us. We really wish we'd had it the first year.
Lisa took us step by step through the process of how to be a successful farmer. And I'm coming to you from the mountains of Northwest Montana. And one of the most important things that I learned in Lisa's flower farming school last year was that you absolutely do not need to have a greenhouse to be successful. So here we are, flower farming in Zone 4B.
I learned about forming a business, the tools I needed, succession planting, and most importantly, how to sell my flowers. Flower Farming School goes in-depth on important topics that are very useful whether you're a beginner or a seasoned grower. It sure helped me. Thanks, Lisa.
All right, friends. I want to just first congratulate Bonnie. She just came in and posted and said that she just joined the class now. If you want to enroll in the class, the link is in the comments and it's right here, but you can always go to thegardenersworkshop.com and it's at the top of every page until midnight tonight anyway. And friends, I encourage you to go in there and read these student reviews. I can sit here and tell you till the cows come home how useful. I built this school to be what I needed. You know, when I started flower farming, y'all, I'm going to age myself. We barely had the internet. I didn't have all these resources. The problem now is people have so many resources, they're drowning. You don't know who to listen to. There's so much noise in the background. And I also recommend, my podcast is Field and Garden. We did, it is, oh man, where did I write that down? It is episode, I think it's 330. It's fairly recent. We actually went and visited 2 of my students' flower farms that are here in Virginia. And we learned about their farm, but then they went on to talk about how flower farming school helped ground them and guide them. It was Emma and Tori. So I would really, if you're still on the fence, friends, go listen to them. Visit the sales page. There are student reviews. The syllabus is over there. You can actually grab a sneak peek into the course all the way at the bottom of the page. You can request that we send you the irrigation session. And that's just one little taste. So I invite you to join. But here's the big deal, guys, is that boot camp, the special bonus of the 7 live boot camp coaching sessions ends tonight. At midnight. And I am so stoked. What really has gotten me even more excited is I can't wait to get my hands on you new people that are just coming in, but I can't wait to bring our students from the past back in, because let me tell you something that I learned taking courses years ago. I take courses all the time, y'all. I have so many courses. It's the way you learn. I have books, I'm always reading, I have magazines, I'm listening to podcasts. It's a mindset that you get in when you're in business. It's like you can just keep moving forward when you constantly are engaging, right? So what I've learned about taking online courses, so you may have heard this story before. I took an online course to learn how to make online courses. This was like back in 2017. And so I took the course, and there was it was a small group of people. It was like a beta course. We were the first group of people to take it. And I was so overwhelmed. I just can't even tell you. I was so nervous that I made my sister, who works for me, stay at the office that evening when I was supposed to log on the first time, because I wasn't sure I could figure it out. I was such a dummy, y'all. And anyway, the course was amazing. I learned so much. I built my first course. I go back still today, actually 3 weeks ago, I was back in that course watching it, especially certain parts of it, over and over, because let me tell you what I'm so excited about, rekindling my past students. When you initially watch it, you're absorbing what your problem is today. Maybe it's getting your business set up and getting your first garden built and, what are you going to grow? Let me tell you, 6 months from now, you're going to have a whole nother can of worms to deal with. And you don't even notice the answers to those cans of worms while you're caught up over here still trying to get your garden built. That's the value. It is priceless that you have lifetime unlimited access to this course. that you can come back in and watch it. I mean, I literally listen and watch the good courses over and over. I read the same books over and over, y'all. I do have a ton of books, but I mean, you read a little and it's like a lot of fluff in here. I'm not going to bother coming back in. When you get a good one, and I will say my course is a Taskmaster course. It is a course of how to do stuff. It is not a lot of encouragement. It is encouraging. I don't want to mislead you, but this is where you learn how to do the work. And it's the boring work that makes the bucks, y'all. That's how you're going to build your bottom line. I just want to say again, because I have to pop over on to Instagram at 8:30 and do this all over again tonight. But tonight ends the special offer for boot camp. Boot camp is what people that enroll in Flower Farming School by midnight tonight get as a bonus. And that is 7 live coaching sessions with me that'll include a mini intensive training, live Q&A, and then we're going to be reviewing how to navigate and go in and find and getting those gems in the course, showing you how to find them and to give you a clear path on how to use each lesson to grow your flower farming business. But I just want to also instill that every winter you should revisit this course. Because you're going to read. And I mean, the best thing that I hear, 2 of my students, I don't know if you do Instagram, I posted a story earlier showing 2 of my students from Alaska. She's an Alaskan peony grower, Wanda of Fox Hollow Peonies. They go south in the winter. And well, not even just in the winter. She went south to Florida and met up with another student, Jonalyn. And, both of them talk about how they go back to the courses over and over. Wanda is a retired teacher, and Jonalyn is just blowing her business up, y'all. And and Daniel too. I mean, there's others. There's so many others. I can't begin to mention them, but I encourage you to check out. You can comment. If you're in Facebook, you can comment boot camp. And go to Messenger and get the link. But friends, it's just easier to go to thegardenersworkshop.com. The link is at the top of every page. Check out the sales page, and I invite you to sign up and enroll. And remember, we have the 7-day no-risk guarantee. It's $695, which you will earn back like that if you actually apply anything that you learn in the class. I totally am confident telling you that. And I just want to remind everybody that the cut flower industry in the United States alone is a $6 to $8 billion industry. It's growing over 4% a year, and and that 4% of $6 billion is like 240 million, y'all. There is a piece of pie for you. There are not too many flower farmers. Professional flower farmers is where the line is drawn in the sand, and that's what I'm going to help you become. So, friends, check it out. You can head over to thegardenersworkshop.com. Top of the page, at the top in the banner, you can go straight to my page. Please read the reviews, read the syllabus, join us, and then I'll see you in boot camp. And the first one is November 14th. The last one is January 23rd. And again, they are recorded, so you have access to them afterwards. That's where you're going to ask your live questions, as well as get a lot of additional coaching from me. All right, friends, thank you for showing up. And Bonnie, I just cannot even wait to see you in school, and everybody else that's joining, and to welcome back so many of my previous students. And don't forget about the podcast. Go take a listen to Emma and Tori talking about their farms and their experience with Flower Farming School. I would love to walk with you, friends. I want to be the hand on your back, and that's what we're all about. All right, folks, until we meet again, I hope it's in school. Ciao.